bombed under, have to deal with endless Russian attacks under. You know, we see a lot of people coming here, driving through, people who don't entirely understand what's going on in Ukraine, who heckle, who say, well, what about America? What about us? What about this country? Well, this country, we fought our share of problems too. I was listening to a podcast recently about the brave men in Britain who fought against the transatlantic slave trade. And that was something no one ever thought would end. No one ever thought slavery would end. You ask someone in 1760, 1750, ask them, hey, are we gonna get rid of slavery? Are we gonna free these African slaves? People laugh at you, say, what are you talking about? Why would we stop that? That benefits our economy. How are we gonna grow tobacco? How are we gonna grow cotton? How are we gonna grow sugar in the Caribbean? And these brave British individuals stood up against that, and very quickly, within a matter of decades, the British overturned the transatlantic slave trade. Now in America, we had a little bit longer of a journey with slavery. It took us fighting a war, killing over 400,000 Americans during the American Civil War. That was a pretty reprehensible part of our history, slavery, but the good part about it was the fight to remove slavery. Now Ukraine right now is undergoing a very similar fight, reversing their past history of under the Russian Empire, under the Soviet Union, where they were made effectively serfs, slaves to the Russians, to the Soviets. Ukrainians right now are fighting for their independence, just like America did in 1776, just like every country who gained independence from the Spanish, from the Ottoman Empire, from the British, from the French, all fought for their independence. Some people, they got it in the 1800s. Some people took till after World War II. And look what America did after World War II. Black people in this country didn't have the right to vote. They weren't equal until the Civil Rights Movement, until the 1960s. Martin Luther King Jr. And the amendments which gave Americans who, yes, had a different skin color than everyone else, the right to vote. History is complicated. History isn't as simple as saying, well, what about us? Well, what about how it affects us? History is all of us. It's all of our stories together, regardless of color, regardless of race, religion, beliefs, or where you live. History affects all of us. Every ripple in that pond affects the much larger pond. That is our story, the human story. And right now, Ukraine is fighting for that human story. Some people, including myself, like to call Ukraine the shield of Europe. Well, when you're using a shield in battle, you use it for defense. But what else do you need in battle? You need an offensive weapon. So Ukraine not only needs to be the shield of Europe, it needs to be the sword of Europe. So that's why we're here every week, reminding people of what's going on in Ukraine right now. Some people don't remember that this war is happening. Some people don't realize that Ukraine still needs help. It needs American help, it needs European help, it needs global help. Because history doesn't just stop when one war ends or one situation ends, like slavery, like World War II. Things don't ever just end. History keeps going. And right now, the shield and the sword of Europe, Ukraine, needs your help. That is why we are here every single week, asking you to pay attention, to do what you can, call your congresspeople, write letters, write email, pick up the phone, do whatever you can. Whatever issue is important to you. Whether you're mad about the deportations with ICE, whether you're mad about what's going on in the economy, whether you're mad about whatever issue that is important to you. Be motivated, do something about it, because that is your right as an American. That is what we fought a revolution for. That is what we gave people rights for. That's what we opened up this opportunity of this country to men, to women of color, to everyone who is willing to be an American. You have the right in a representative democracy, a constitutional republic, to voice your opinion and let your representatives know what you think, what you want them to do. And if you care about Ukraine, let them know. Say, hey, I think we should be supporting Ukraine. I I think we should put additional sanctions on Russia, and anyone who works with Russia should be sanctioned as well. Right now, something that we forget to talk about, America's not sending any money to Ukraine. We're not sending any weapons. What's happening is called the Pearl Program, where Europeans are paying their money to give to us. So in fact, we're making money off of this war right now. So actually, anyone who drives by heckling, saying, what about America? Guess what? We're making money right now off this war. So, hey, if you're cynical, that's a reason you can support Ukraine. We're making money selling weapons, giving them a sword so they can be a shield for the rest of the world. So in closing, do whatever you can, please, for whatever issue is important to you. Ukraine's important to us, but if you have something that you care about, that you're passionate about, do something about it. Because like the men and the women who overturned slavery, they didn't think it was going to be an easy fight, but they fought nonetheless. Because that is what fighting is. Fighting is doing something knowing you might lose, but you do it anyways. Please do what you can and keep the good fight up. Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава! Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much.